In November last year, the indications were that about 7 million people were at risk, were somehow needing food aid, needing support. Today, we are talking about almost 10 million. So within a pace of a few months, it has changed from 7 to 10 million. So that's why it's important that we do something now. Erratic rainfall is one aspect, but at the same time, we know that between the Sahel and the Horn of Africa, drought do alternate. I mean, it used to be every 5 years in the past, but now it's more frequent. I mean, we've seen drought in, for example, in Niger in 2010, and we just now in 2012, and there's already food insecurity in Niger. So if we don't do it by March, which is the period where people would have to start feeling the gaps in terms of the food, the little food they have, then it will be worse. So we have to act now before March. Otherwise, it will be too late. It will become a situation like what happened in the Horn of Africa last year. Farmers are losing their livelihoods. I mean, because of erratic rains, their crops have failed, animals are dying, so we need to do something to get them out of, before it gets out of hand. So the people who are at risk here are women who are more vulnerable, and the children. We have, particularly in Niger, where we have an agreement with AHMAD. It's a meteorological institution that gives the Red Cross information in terms of the rainfall patterns. I mean, we already knew there were going to be erratic rains. So with that, we were able to see the signs and be able to tell national society, particularly in terms of how they want the population to shift in terms of what crops they have to grow. Now, they've done that, of course, but obviously most of these farmers are dependent on the rain-fed crops. So that is why when the rain fails, the crops fail. And this is the situation today. We need to think differently. And I think that is why in the Horn of Africa, the way we approach it is more of a developmental approach rather than just providing relief. And this is the same approach that we'll be using in the Sahel. And to get back to us as Red Cross, I mean, this is what we've been talking about. I mean, a couple of years ago, we had some discussions, and we have now the concept of working with countries across the Sahel to the Horn of Africa in terms of helping them to build their resilience to such situations, because it tends to occur before every 5 years, but now it's more frequent. We always wait for when the big media goes to these countries and starts showing horrible signs of people dying or malnourished. This can be prevented, and it is now that we should do some action to be able to prevent that. So my worst fears is that the international community, the people who can help, will wait until it is worse. So we should act now. So we're asking people to act with us now in terms of reducing the risk or mitigating the effects.